Welcome to Tagaytay Picnic Grove. Most people come here to relax, enjoy the cool weather, have a picnic, try delicious food, experience the zipline, and admire the beautiful view. But this place is more than just a tourist destination. From the trees and clouds to the restaurants and thrilling zipline, science is everywhere. The first thing you will immediately notice here is the abundance of trees. Trees provide shade, making the area feel cooler and more comfortable. But trees do more than just give us shade. Through photosynthesis, plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make their own food. As a result, they release oxygen into the atmosphere. Trees also provide food and shelter for different organisms, making them an important part of the ecosystem. So every tree we see is not just part of the beautiful scenery. It is also an important part of life around us. Here comes the cool breeze. Wind is simply moving air. Here in Tagaytay, the higher elevation contributes to its generally cooler temperature. As the wind moves through the trees and around the open spaces, it can also help us feel cooler. So that refreshing breeze is not just relaxing, it is science we can actually feel. Sometimes, Tagaytay can be covered with clouds or fog. But what exactly are we seeing? Clouds and fog are made up of tiny water droplets suspended in the air. When water vapor cools and condenses, these tiny droplets form. When they form high in the atmosphere, we call them clouds. When they form close to the ground, we call them fog. So when the surroundings suddenly become misty, remember, you are watching part of the water cycle in action. Now, here comes one of the most exciting attractions, the zipline. But did you know that a zipline is also a great example of physics? Before the ride begins, the rider is positioned at a higher point. At that position, the rider has gravitational potential energy because of their height. As the rider moves downward along the sloping cable, that potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy, or the energy of motion. Gravity pulls the rider downward, while the tension in the cable supports and guides the movement. Friction and air resistance can also affect the motion. So that exciting ride is not just about adventure, it's physics in action. Food is part of the experience. Tagaytay Picnic Grove has places where visitors can enjoy food and drinks. Even inside a restaurant, we can find science. When food is cooked, heat energy causes physical and chemical changes. For example, heat can change the texture, color, and flavor of food. Grilling, frying, boiling, and baking all involve the transfer of heat. And when we eat, our digestive system breaks down food and converts its nutrients into energy that our body can use. One of the most breathtaking sights from Tagaytay Picnic Grove is the view of Taal Lake and Taal Volcano. This beautiful landscape has been shaped by powerful processes happening beneath Earth's surface. Volcanic activity has played a major role in forming the landscape we see today. So while we admire this incredible view, we are also looking at evidence of our planet's powerful and changing nature. Around the picnic grove, we can also find different kinds of plants. Each plant has structures that help it survive. The roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. The stem supports the plant and helps transport materials. And the leaves capture sunlight and make food through photosynthesis. Plants may look quiet and still, but inside them, many amazing processes are happening every day. You might hear birds singing here. When you look closely, and you may also find butterflies, insects, and other small animals. They are all part of an ecosystem. Living things interact with one another and depend on their environment for food, shelter, and survival. For example, insects can help pollinate flowers. Birds can help spread seeds. This shows us that even small organisms can have important roles in nature. Of course, it wouldn't be called Picnic Grove without the picnic areas. The cottages provide shelter. The tables and benches give families and friends a place to eat, relax, and spend time together. And the playground gives children a space to have fun. But even these structures involve science. Engineers consider forces, balance, gravity, and materials when designing structures that people use. So whether you are sitting in a cottage or playing on the playground, science and engineering are working quietly in the background. Sa isang lugar na puno ng puno, pagkain, tawanan, at magagandang tanawin, mapapaalala sa'yo na hindi lahat ng magandang bagay kailangang hanapin sa malayo. Minsan, kailangan mo lang huminto, tumingin sa paligid, at pahalagahan kung ano ang nasa harap mo. Because sometimes, The beauty you are looking for is already around you. Today, we discovered that science can be found all around Tagaytay Picnic Grove. Trees help support ecosystems and produce their own food through photosynthesis. Wind is moving air. Clouds and fog are connected to condensation and the water cycle. The zipline demonstrates gravity, forces, potential energy, and kinetic energy. Restaurants and food show us heat transfer, changes in matter, and digestion. The Taal landscape reminds us of the powerful geologic processes that shape Earth. Plants, animals, and insects show us how living things are connected in an ecosystem. And picnic areas and playgrounds demonstrate science and engineering in everyday life. So the next time you visit Tagaytay Picnic Grove, look for the science behind them. Because science is not just found inside classrooms or laboratories. Sometimes, it's flying down a zip line, cooking in a restaurant, moving through the trees, or hiding in a beautiful view. This is Ma'am Hugot, where we discover science with facts, fun, and a little bit of hugot. See you in our next science adventure.